Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Peter, I can't quite believe it, but this Sunday marks the end of the Premier League season and there's a lot to play for. So looking at the fixtures, we've got Wolves hosting Manchester United and City take on Everton at the Etihad Stadium. Firstly though, fans are going to be back in for that one. That's going to be great to see.
Well, the City one is particularly interesting because it could be Sergio Aguero's last game for Manchester City, because I don't really expect him to play in the Champions League final. So they'll be looking for some tremendous send-off for Aguero. He has been the bane in my boss Fred Doan's life for at least 10 years. All the time he's been at City because of our hat-trick heaven promotion, after when a player scores first.
Yep.
He's 11 to 10 to score first in his probably, most certainly his last game for Manchester City. Jesus, another player who's battling to get himself in the frame for a Champions League start. He's 13 to 10. Sterling 6 to 4. He's in that bracket as well. Gundogan is 6 to 4. De Bruyne 2 to 1, and Phil Foden, who shouldn't have any qualms about whether he'll get in the Champions League final side. He's 13 to 8. So City are 4 to 9 to beat Everton. Everton 6 to 1.
Brilliant stuff, and there are a fair few teams vying for a top four finish. So looking at the key fixtures on Sunday, they're all 4 p.m. kickoffs. We've got Liverpool taking on Crystal Palace, Leicester hosting Tottenham Hotspur, and Aston Villa hosting Chelsea. So there's some massive games, Peter.
Well, they certainly are. Betfred have Liverpool now 1 to 10 to make a top 4 finish. They've come from nowhere. They've had a strong finish to the campaign. Unlike Leicester, who are dipping out now, they're no longer odds on. They're 5 to 2 for a top 4 finish. Chelsea are 1 to 9 with Betfred. So that's the only issue to be resolved team-wise in the Premier League. There are other issues towards the Golden Boot, for instance.
Absolutely, and let's just take a look at Leicester. They won the FA Cup last weekend, but then on Tuesday they lost to Chelsea, really damaging their top 4 hopes. Are they going to do it again? They did it last season, didn't they, under Brendan Rodgers as well?
Yeah, it is a great shame that it's going to end up one of the 4 of the top 6 teams will take those 4 places. It's widely expected, but there are surprises could happen. We've had a surprising season in many ways. Leicester still in the frame, 5 to 2 to make that top 4 finish, but they do need to pick up 3 points unless there's some quirky results on the day, with draws at Anfield and also with Chelsea at Villa.
Absolutely, and taking a look at the Golden Boot, it's between Mo Salah and Harry Kane. Harry Kane, he's tipped to go City this season. What are the odds looking like for him? Next season, sorry.
Yeah, well, the odds for Harry Kane to move, he's now obvious he's going to move. He's now talking about how it'll be his decision. Looks like there's been a gentleman's agreement in place. That's quite a regular occurrence. I remember Ronaldo agreed with Sir Alex Ferguson not so long ago that he would stay 1 more season, and I suspect that's what's happened with Harry Kane. City would be one of his preferred choices, if not the preferred choice for Harry Kane, if they don't go for Haaland. City are 7 to 4 to sign Harry Kane. I think he fit perfectly into the City team. He's evolved his game. He's not just a striker. He plays some superb link balls from midfield as well. He's 7 to 4 to join City now. United drifted slightly, 3 to 1 to sign Harry Kane. He fit in at Old Trafford, of course, as well. Chelsea 7 to 1. And of the foreign teams, which Daniel Levy has said, the Tottenham chairman that is, has said he'd much prefer him to go abroad, but they'll kind of always say that, don't they, until the £100,000, 100 million check starts splashing around. Then suddenly it's the money talks. And PSG, anyway, from the foreign teams, they're 16 to 1. They're top of the foreign teams to sign Harry Kane. But I do think it's looking like he'll be coming to Manchester. He scored 21 goals this season, and that's despite his injuries. He's 11 to 10 to pick up the Golden Boot. Salah is also on 21 goals. He's 4 to 6, so he's edging it there, and that's because the easier matches or the perceived easier games. Salah playing for Liverpool against Palace at home, needing that win, whereas Kane will be playing for Spurs at Leicester, and that could be a tough one because Leicester need those 3 points, and then they'll just hope that particularly Liverpool struggle.
Absolutely. Well, we did mention it on Monday Sports Talk, but what about Allinson's goal in the 94th minute at West Brom to keep Liverpool's top 4 hopes alive? Quite crazy scenes.
Yeah, it was, and that's what I was referring to in part when I said that it's been a strange season. Who would have thought that the Liverpool goalkeeper would have put the champions, as they are, remember, from last season, into a top 4 position? Because if they hadn't got a top 4 position, there would have been one huge clear out at Liverpool, because that team struggled, but it's just scrambled, showed good character to get a top 4 finish. Don't forget United are playing as well.
Yeah, they are. They're at Wolves, aren't they, this weekend?
Yeah. Betfred have. There's been a huge drift on United. They're now 7-4, not even favourites to win at Wolves, and the reason for that is that we understand at Betfred that United will put out very much a scratch team because they're playing in the Europa League final on Wednesday. So the odds are a bit unusual, but Dan James, who we think will come into the team, he's not been in the first team picture very much this season. He's 10-1 to score. We think Mason Greenwood will get a run out, and he's 5-1 to score the opening goal for United at Molineux on Sunday.
Brilliant stuff. I was going to say, looking back on Tuesday's 1-1 draw against Fulham, Cavani's 30-yard strike, lobbing it over the keeper. Great to see a goal like that in front of the Old Trafford faithful, but as a performance on the whole, it was pretty dreadful, wasn't it?
It was. That was certainly the highlight. And then, of course, what annoyed me most about that was the huge debate about whether Bruno had actually touched it to keep Cavani on side. Well, it looked to me as if he touched it. Afterwards, Bruno saying he didn't know whether he touched it, so it must have been the faintest of touches. But to rule a goal like that out would have been ridiculous, and that's the problem with the current system. The debate is all about whether it should stand or not how great the goal was. And it was one of the best goals I've ever seen. It was absolutely tremendous. The awareness to see the keeper was off his line, and then just slot it in like that, and you just knew it was going in as soon as he touched it. It was brilliant.
Showing his class. He might be 34 years old, but he's still got a lot of quality, and he's staying at United next season.
He is, and you wonder how much he'd have been worth if he was 27 like Harry Kane. Maybe he'd be worth more than that, £150 million, which he'd been widely quoted, although I don't think they'll end up paying that.
No.
I think it'd be more like the 120 million mark for whether he goes to City or United.